Welcome back to another Film Geek movie review. Today, guys, I am super stoked because in just a bit here, I am off to check out the latest in the Spider-Verse franchise, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. This is, of course, the sequel to the Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse that came out just a few years ago. This film, I honestly don't know a lot of the plot points on it because I haven't wanted a lot of spoilers on this movie. I really enjoyed the first Spider-Verse movie, and I want to know as little as possible going into this new film. So all I've really seen is the first trailer, not the teaser, but the first full-on trailer, and from what I can tell, it looks like Miles Morales goes back into the Spider-Verse, but to like a Spider-Verse hub where there's a lot of different versions of Spider people. Something happens, either, he doesn't handle a situation the way they want him to, or what have you, but a lot of the Spider folk get upset. They chase him out of the Spider-Verse, and I guess that is the plot of our story. I'm not quite sure. And it has, though, a spider persona that I am super stoked to see on the big screen, and that is Spider-Man 2099. It was a character that I really dug back in the day. I have a bunch of the 2099 comics, along with another 2099 comic series, X-Men 2099, which I don't know, in my opinion, I didn't care for it as much as Spider-Man 2099. I gave it a good college try, but I never got into the X-Men 2099 as much as Spider-Man, but that's neither here nor there when it comes to this character. I'm just really excited to see the character being utilized. I thought he was a really great reimagining of the character Spider-Man, much like Miles Morales. A really cool, different version of Spider-Man. I always love it when they're really creative and come up with some different ideas, some reimaginings or different concepts for characters. Sometimes that can go completely awry. I'm looking at you, Man of Teal. But on a whole, reimaginings can be a lot of fun, just looking at a character in a different way. Alright, so what am I looking forward to most in this film? It looks like the animation style is still in the same vein as the previous film, and I am really looking forward to that. I dug that animation style, something fierce. I liked the way that it had this very stylized, but still CGI, kind of style to it. It looked like a living comic book. It just seemed like newsprint come to life on a big silver screen for me. And I am just hoping that this new film captures the same imagination and the same magic and the same emotions as the first film. And that's a big order, I know, but it looks like from the trailer this film is going to pull it off. So I am really excited to see this movie. It is time for me to get out of here because I need to get out the door. It's time for me to go see Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Welcome back. Just getting home, and guys, oh my god, this movie blew my goddamn mind. Holy cow, this film was good. Okay, so we're gonna do this like I like. Gonna start with the negatives, which really there is no negatives, but anyway, start with the negatives and move into the positives to end everything on the ever so important high note. Not necessarily a negative. This is actually a get ready for this kind of situation. This movie is long. Alright, I was very surprised being an animated film at the runtime of this film. It clocks in just under 2.5 hours. So if you've got some little ones, be prepared for that. This is one of the movies that you're gonna have to get some snacks for to keep them little butts in the seats if they're interested in checking out Miles Morales. And as I know it these days, I know he is very popular amongst the younger kids. And so, yeah, they're gonna want to see this movie. And Mom, Dad, it's long. Get ready to bring the snacks. Okay, that is it really. That's all I have to say about that. Like I said, not necessarily a negative because it fills that runtime really well. Okay, so let's move into the positives. Number one, well, I was talking about this a little bit. The pacing of this film. Yes, it's long, but the pacing is outstanding. The movie just smoothly flies along without a care in the world. It is outstanding. I mean, it does start to feel like you've been in the theater for a minute near the end of the movie, but it doesn't feel like you're bored or it took a long time to get there. It's like all of a sudden you get that feeling, oh, we've been here for a minute, we must be hitting the climax. You do notice that. Now, another thing, the animation. The animation in this movie is ridiculous. I seriously cannot think of any other CGI or digitally animated, however you want to look at it, film of this that looks this outstanding. I mean, seriously, I have never seen a digitally animated film that looks this good. There's this really cool thing that they do to kind of make things a little distinctive on what world you're in, what multiverse, Spider-Verse, whatever you want to call it, wherever they are. So for instance, like with Gwen's world, right? We get to see Gwen's actual home world in this film, and it's got this like watercolor background to it. It's extremely unique, and each one of the characters has their own unique style of art. It's really cool the way they did this, and it stays consistent throughout the entire movie. So whenever they are in another dimension or so on and so forth, they keep their own dimension's animation style. I thought that was an extremely cool touch. Also, the voice acting in this is outstanding. I'm not going to go off and name off everybody and so on and so forth because every single actor in this film delivers. This is so complicated. It has to be so hard for actors to do this level of voice acting because they just go into a studio and record into a microphone. They're not interacting with anything. And to be able to emote the kind of emotion and everything that they do in this, in bringing the life to this character with just their voice, wow, this film brings it. The acting is great, the animation is great, the story is so good. It brings in so much more depth and story to our characters. We get a lot more background on Gwen. We learn more about how the Spider-Verse works. There's also outstandingly funny and unique cameos throughout the entire film, and you can listen, you'll hear voices and go, oh, I know who that is. But then there's also some cameos that you don't have to necessarily understand their voices, and once you see the movie you will know what I mean, and it's great. The film has such a good sense of humor about it. It has jokes, but not so many that it ruins the film. It doesn't oversaturate with them. It just has the right amount. It's great to see returning characters from the first film. I mean, this movie was fun. This is easily on par with my favorite Spider-Man movie, and that is Spider-Man 2 from the Sam Raimi films. My all-time favorite Spider-Man film, and this movie is dead equal with it right now. That's how good it was. I thought it was better than the first film because it's kind of, first movie is more of an origin story. It just focuses on his background, and you don't really get a whole lot of meaty story in a first film. Now, that's where the sequel comes in, and they knock it out of the ballpark. They expand the mythology of the world. They expand the characters. They make them deeper and more troubled and more relatable. I mean, oh my God, this movie had everything. I will be surprised if I do not see this film nominated for animated film this year at the Oscar, or next year at the Oscars, however that shit works. I don't know. It's a bunch of celebrities slapping each other on the back saying, hey, look at me, I'm great. So who knows? But anyways, the point is that this film just knocks it out of the ballpark on every single level. The animation is great. The story is great. Everything about this film comes together, and it is absolutely beautiful. This is a film that can only exist in animation. You can't do this movie any other way, and that's what I love about the medium of animation, not the genre. The medium of animation, it allows us to do so much more with film than we could possibly do with a live action movie, and this film is definitely that kind of movie that proves my point. Well, okay, guys, that's all I have for you today. Thanks again for checking out the Film Geek. If you liked what you saw here today, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, ring that bell for notifications, and give me the old thumbs up so I know you like what you're seeing. And if there's one more thing you could do, folks, that is keep watching movies. You know I'm gonna.